What's going on, everyone? In this video, we're going to talk about an exciting observation I had regarding the hips and the crossunder. I think this could be a massive breakthrough for me, and it could be for you as well, so make sure to stay to the end. So there I was, casually looking over my linear crossunder footage, like I always do, and I noticed something very different between my backhand and forehand side related to my foot and hip positioning when initially landing. For those who don't know, my backhand side is my much more dominant side. So I'm comparing my backhand and forehand side, and I noticed that on my backhand side, my hips and feet are facing the complete opposite direction of the arc that I'm traveling on. My outside edge foot is pointed in, and my hip is internally rotated. Whereas on my landing on my forehand side, I'm in a much different position. My hips are square, my outside edge foot is pretty much straight, and of course I have less Y angle. Now I knew about the hip internally rotating and the outside edge foot pointed in, but what these two reps got me thinking is that it's a little bit more than that. My entire pelvis is facing the complete opposite direction. So of course I had to go to the NHL examples. And unsurprisingly, I saw exactly what I was expecting. Like in this Barzal clip. His entire pelvis and hips are facing the complete opposite direction of his arc. And of course his inside foot is pointed in as well. So I did some more research and a trend started developing. Not only with Barzal, but McDavid, Bedard, and pretty much everyone. Now it's not so prominent all the time. It looks to be more pronounced with wider crossunders, linear crossunders, and you see it with crossover starts as well, but to a lesser degree on tight crossunders. Then I started thinking why? Why might this be? Well, when your toes are pointed in, you're more biased to the outside edge of your foot, versus when your toes are pointed out, you're more biased to the inside edge of your foot. So that's why we want our front foot outside edge to be pointed in and the back foot outside edge to be pointed out. Also, in order for the crossunder foot to move under the body, the front foot needs to be pointed in. Notice in order for him to bring his foot under his body, he 1, rolls his ankle over to the outside edge, and 2, turns his foot in, and that naturally allows his foot to move under. The opposite goes for the inside edge. Your foot needs to be pointed slightly out for the foot to travel out to the side, and that's pretty common knowledge. So how does this relate to the crossunder? Well, the inside foot outside edge points in, so it can travel under the body, and the outside foot inside edge points slightly out, so it can travel out to the side. And that results in the feet being pretty much parallel in relation to each other, and the entire pelvis facing the opposite direction of travel. The last one, and it might be a little bit of a stretch, but it's possible that by having your hips rotated the opposite way, it might give you a little more range of motion to twist your hips around. Like in this McDavid clip, his pelvis is oriented the opposite way, and as soon as he finishes that cross, his hips noticeably rotate and twist almost like they're unwinding. And I'm sure there's other reasons, probably related to the arc, and other things that I have not thought of yet. Of course, I had to test this out for myself, and the results look promising. I still have some work to do on it. My forehand side is still not as good as my backhand side, for a multitude of reasons, but it's definitely looking better, way more Barzal-like, and also feeling better, which is more important. I also feel my foot traveling under my body and closer to what I feel on my backhand side. Plus, my Y angle improved a bit. Although this cue looks really promising, for me, I'm gonna put it on the back burner for now, as I have some ankle and rocker pillars that I need to address first before I do a deep dive into hip movement. Overall, this observation looks really promising. It passes the NHL evidence test, it passes the field test, and it passes the logic test. So the last test is to leave it up to you guys to try it out for yourself and report back your findings. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.
In my head like I've seen it. A life worth living is a life with meaning.